Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Raw and Real. And this one is particular to menopause madness. So it's been a hot minute since I've shared a video, and I'm going to explain why in this video today. So I'm excited to share a life eye opening experience and hopefully educate you and provide you with some opportunity to find healing in your own menopause journey or really in any health related journey because there's nuggets of truth that are applicable to all of it. So, quick science lesson. Um, Dopamine is a neurotransmitter, meaning it's a messenger that transmits through your nervous system and particularly your brain. And it is often referred to as the pleasure uh, neurotransmitter. It's most often elevated after exercise or sex, certain foods. Uh, but anyway, it's the chemical that allows you to feel pleasure and also motivation. So dopamine levels dropping too low can be correlated with um, depression. And I've learned some interesting stuff this morning and this past week. But let me jump right into my story and what I'm super grateful for today. So, over the last several weeks, I have noticed a decline in my motivation, and I just kept thinking, it's going to improve, it's going to improve, it's going to improve. That these hormones come in cycles and it'll bounce back, it'll bounce back. And I was doing things, taking supplements and whatnot to promote that, but I wasn't seeing the benefits. And I thought, well, I just need to keep at it. It's going to get better. So, um one of the important things to know is that one of the supplements I stopped some time ago is fish oil. And figured, I'm trying to do more vegetarian, vegan type diet because it's anti-inflammatory and that's going to help. This fit with all the readings that I had been doing and some other things I knew about my own body. And so I was like, okay, we'll give it a try. And I switched to straight up vegan for a while, like just a few days, and I was like, I feel terrible. My body is telling me no, this is not for you. So then I switched back to adding eggs into my diet and occasionally a little bit of meat. Um, and I'm getting off on a rabbit trail, but my point is that your body is going to tell you what works for you and what doesn't if you pay attention. So, for example, right now, I'm having a hot flash and I know what is contributing to it. And I also know that resisting it is going to make it worse. So instead of saying, "Oh man," and trying to fight it, I'm just going to breathe through it. So I'm going to do that right now. So that's a whole nother lesson that I could share on dealing with menopause symptoms and hot flashes in particular. But I'm going to stay on topic for what I learned this week. So my mood and my energy level hit an all-time low on Thursday. So much so that I called off work, which is very much unlike me. And um, I I pretty much just did nothing all day long. And like even eating was a chore. And I was so discouraged and sad. And I kept trying different tools that I've learned as a coach and things that I know about menopause. I was trying all these different things and it wasn't helping for very long at all. And Thursday night I went to bed pretty early and I had a moment where, like all of these terrible thoughts are coming up. This is how it's going to be now, and oh my goodness, I can't live this way, and blah blah blah, and all of the ugly, shameful things that I beat myself up for that like to stay hidden came out, and um, I had a moment. I did my best to stay present with that by recognizing, okay, I am not my thoughts. This is just a story. I can choose to let it go. And that's what I did. I very angrily, which, elevated my mood a little bit, but I very angrily started F bombing every thought that came into my head that was ugly. Like F this and F that. And I just, like a prayer of release is how I've heard it called. Um, and s- that helped at least improve my mood a little bit, like, okay, I'm not going to allow myself to sink down into this deep hole any further. I'm done. I and then it was a simple prayer, request, whatever you want to call it, of help. I know that my higher self sees what's happening and understands what needs to happen, and I am at a loss here. I This is new territory for me and I'm not sure what to do. And all of my normal tricks were not working, and I've dealt with depression before. So I end up intuitively coming across I end up coming across some information, and my intuition is telling me, yes, this is the route to go. All right, so I start doing that, and I'm not going to get into particulars because this is not medical advice, but um what I immediately started noticing a difference. And then I had a couple other ideas and I tried those as well. And then I I started noticing even more difference. And so this is all since Thursday. Friday, I was like, okay, I'm starting to feel more like myself. I'm still not back to me, but I'm starting to feel more like myself. This morning I woke up and I was like clear-minded, motivated, had some energy, slept well. Like I was like, "Oh my goodness." So then I started piecing all the pieces of the puzzle together this morning. Um I had done some research in the past about different hormones related to menopause, and all these questions started popping in my head this morning. So I started diving into that. And lo and behold, I'm finding out all these things, or recalling some of them. Oh, yeah, okay, that's what was happening, that's what was happening. And I am just thrilled to have learned these things. Um, and I will share them. I'm putting together a course. Um, I I'm I'm just so thankful that I'm doing so much better today than I was a couple of days ago. Man, I was discouraged. Um, the highlights that I will give you right now is, first of all, listen to your intuition. And that's true if any health situation. Second of all, take control of your health. If you are seeking out medical help and they're giving you answers that don't work for you, like you've tried, or it just doesn't sit right, like, yeah, I'm not comfortable with that. Um Listen to what your intuition is telling you, your whatever word you want to use for that. Um Recognize that your diet and supplements have the potential to be life changing. And this is not what we're often taught in the Western medicine way of doing things. It's starting to become more relevant, or recognized. Um, but so often we go to the doctor, and especially with menopause stuff, pretty much any female health issue, and they're like, well, you know, here's a pill for it. And you take it and you're like, but this is not helping. And actually, it's making me feel worse. Been there, done that. And I'm not telling you don't ever use Western medicine, but if you're hitting a wall, don't give up. Um, there are there are options that help. And not every woman experiences menopause the same way. But for those who are having symptoms, don't resign yourself to this is just the way it is. And don't assume that it's not that big of a deal like women tend to do most of our lives. We're raised to just stuff our needs, our what our body needs, or what our feelings need, or whatever, aside, because, well, you know your job is to serve. Okay, there's a time and place for that, absolutely. I love helping people, otherwise I wouldn't be making this video. But you cannot constantly cast your own needs aside. It doesn't work. Um, and if you're arguing with that thought right now, well, sure it does. I've been doing it for years. It's going to catch up with you if it hasn't already. Um, and I speak from experience on this. This is not me just saying, well, the books say, nope. Um, that's not to say it's a bad thing. Because those moments can be great teachers, and that's what I've taken from this episode from this last week is, wow, did I learn some stuff? And wow, am I excited to share with other women so that they can recognize there is hope, there is help, there is other women out there. There are other women out there. My grammar Nazi's kicking in, um, who have experienced something similar and found a solution. So, quick rundown, what I'll share is estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone all have important roles during menopause. Well, during your whole life as a woman, but menopause really puts a highlight on that. Um, and the functions of those hormones are way more intricate than what you've been led to believe. And oh, this one just does this and that one just does that. No. Oh my goodness, no. And this is what part of my course will cover. Healthy fats matter. And not just, well, yeah, I know they're anti-inflammatory and, that kind of thing. Fish is good for you because it helps your body deal with inflammation, or it's, better for your cholesterol or whatever. Yes, all that's true. Um, but did you know that cholesterol is the building block for all of your hormones? So while we're busy trying to cut down on fats, um, we are actually hurting ourselves. And I'm not saying go eat all kinds of high fat junk. I'm saying healthy fats matter. Uh, that got added back in this week, and then some other supplements that were going to help with balancing the progesterone and the estrogen, um, because they also play a role in your brain health, in your mental health, um, in your motivation, in your weight loss, in so many things. So super grateful. Yes, I know this was a long video. Um, I'm just wow. Uh, and as far as when you are dealing with those things, regardless of we're talking about menopause symptoms or some other health situation, the more you fight it, and I don't mean just give up. How am I going to say this? Um, when you either one refuse to accept that it's happening, or two, um, get super ticked off about it, you're actually making things worse. And that all relates to your cortisol levels, regardless of what health condition we're talking about. Your cortisol levels get too high, your body is in a state of inflammation. And that's not a good thing for long term. It's helpful for short term situations like you broke your foot and the swelling takes place to help with the healing. Um, but when we're talking about chronic inflammation, no, not good. Um, so staying present and working through the situation with as much presence as you can is the most beneficial for any health situation. Now I feel like I'm rambling. So we're going to call it. Um, Again, don't give up. Make it a great day.